Today I want to speak to you about a spiritual practice about the spiritual path. Now, there's a Sanskrit word called Bodhicitta. Now, Bodhicitta is a popular term in Buddhism. It's also used in Hinduism as well. And Bodhicitta means the energy and enthusiasm one has for the spiritual path. Now, this in and of itself, this one word, is a practice. Now, that may seem odd, but it is a spiritual practice to have a dedication towards the spiritual path. Too often I see many people who turn to Eastern spirituality as some sort of passing trend, some sort of phase in their life. I remember a good friend of mine 15 years ago who said to me, "Hey Jason, I'm on the buzz." Like talking about how he's into, the nature of reality, consciousness, oneness, and he was turning towards Eastern spirituality. And it's not a buzz. And ironically, that same guy didn't last too long on the path. That's part and parcel of what can happen when someone is not sincere on the path. Now, I want to make this video for all of you because it is important to have a dedication towards the path, right? And I know that some people will say, yeah, but there is no path, and we can wax lyrical about that from a non-dual sense. But for us on the path, as humans on the path, it is important to have a dedication and a focus, even though we may understand those sort of profound insights. Even the great masters have a dedication to the path, right? They don't veer off it. Now, one thing I want to mention to you about is a lot of people talk about living their ordinary life. So a lot of people get confused about their ordinary life, but they're on the spiritual path. You have to merge these as one, right? Like we all have obligations as a human. Some of you may have family, you may be in a relationship, you may be a politician, or who knows what you are, but you have certain social responsibilities. But if you have the path as the highest in your life, then everything else works itself out. Now, the problems begin when people put other things above the spiritual path. And that's why, in some sense, my friend went off the path, because he was not so intoxicated by the buzz, as he put it. So it is important to have the spiritual path as the highest, and everything else will begin to work out. That is what we all need to remember. We can still live our lives as a family person, in a relationship with a significant other, as part of our community, but it's the spiritual path that informs our decisions and what we do going forward, right? Our life is the sum total of the decisions we make. So a lot of people will get attracted to the path, they'll veer off it, and they'll go down many blind alleys in life, only to return sometimes to the great knowledge, sometimes 20 years later, 25 years later, 30 years later, but sometimes it does happen. So you need to really think about that. If you have the spiritual path as the highest, you have the bodhicitta, you have the energy and the enthusiasm for the path itself, then that will inform your decisions, and your life will become the sum total of the decisions that you have made, right? So a lot of people want to reach the highest on the spiritual path. What are the decisions you are making that is moving in that direction? Are you engaged in constant study, which is part of the spiritual path? Are you studying the great texts? Are you engaged in deep meditative practice only for a brief moment every day? You don't have to be meditating all day long, but do you have this dedication to the path? Just simple things like this, right? And having good, clean relationships, and basically not disturbing other people's lives and the community, and also not disturbing your own life as a person. And so that's what I really wanted to talk to you guys about today. Just that dedication you need to the spiritual path. What are you doing? What are the decisions you are making that is enhancing your understanding along the path, that is keeping you steadfast, right? Instead of veering off here and there in other directions. A lot of people will have a lot of dedication to a TV show that they watch, or a lot of dedication to maintaining a Facebook page, so forth and so on, right? But then we don't take that enthusiasm and intention and dedication over onto the spiritual path. We need to. It's a life endeavor. It really is. And when I say that to a lot of people, that the spiritual path is a life endeavor, even if you've reached moksha, right, it's a constant process. It's a life endeavor. You may be liberated in this life, but life goes on. It's like that old Zen proverb of before enlightenment, carrying water and chopping wood, and after enlightenment, chopping wood and carrying water. Life goes on, but it's the dedication to the spiritual path that's important. And that's what we all need to remember. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you all today. I hope you've been enjoying all of the content on YouTube. We've got plenty more content coming up, a lot of great content. Please leave a comment below. Let me know if you're enjoying the content, what you think about bodhicitta as a path itself, not just as a term, but actually as a practice. So our dedication towards the path is a practice in and of itself. So let me know what you think about that, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Shanti, shanti, shanti.